Hello everyone, welcome back to the Loire Valley, welcome back to the heart of France. And welcome back to Château de Belebat. Today's episode is amazing. It's a great episode full of inside this. So stay tuned because what are we doing here? Let's talk about money. Everybody's favorite question. Numbers are a huge key with you people.
So today we're going to answer all of your burning questions about money and what things cost around here.
We have 7 questions that we pick from all the questions you've been given, and there are 4 related to cost and money.
First question. What is the cost of running a chateau?
A really good question, Leighton, and a great place to start. So there are many expenses here. So I'm just going to give you the basic costs of taxes, like property taxes, insurance, light, gas, just to sort of keep things moving. And that is going to be about 4,000 euros a month is what we are paying.
Maintenance here is huge. The lawnmower will break. The walls will fall. We have huge windstorms like 2 days ago, last night, I don't know. Tiles, roof tiles on the grass, on the ground. All that need to be repaired. That adds a lot of wear and tear and your brain and your spirit. Then you have that, then you have your farm, so you have chicken feed and the Costco vaccinate and treat your cats. Living expenses is not expensive in France compared to other countries. The produce are fantastic. Everything in the countryside is local. That's the best part of French cuisine. But you have these other parts on.
Yeah, the 5 of us eat for less than 1,000 euros on.
And we equal.
When money is tight, how do you choose where to put it?
So when our money is tight, which it is most of the time, we have to choose where to invest, right? Where to put the next renovation euro, as they say. And for my point of view, it's always where it's going to make the most money. So where are we going to get the most bang for our buck, as we say in America?
You may have your ideas of where you want to put your money to either make more money or make it more beautiful, which in the end ends up making more money, or where it will make you the most happy. I mean, you could have many reasons to do what, when, where, but this is France. And the pace of life has its own heartbeat here. So it's not what you want, really. It's not what you think your money should go. It's where you can. Is the roofer available? Is the plumber going to finish that in time? Is that the best thing you can do at that time? Will that be finished by the time you need it? Because if it doesn't, then if the bathrooms are not going to be finished before Thanksgiving, then our money should go somewhere else and leave the bathroom for later. So there is a whole juggling of tasks that you have to do in order to answer that question properly. The best way to place your money is not what you want, where you want, how you want it. Is what you can manage, really.
And who can do it and when, and yeah, it's tough.
French country living is courses, and I highly recommend it. We love our life, but it's not a simple task. Well, I think JJ has another question. Go.
What was your best investment to date?
The best probably would be the starting by the Jeets, by the rental.
Yeah, doing those first.
Making sure that the house produced was a great investment. Yeah, sure. There was it's a heavy investment, and it happens along the years. This is not something that you put and magic happens. But it was good. It took too long.
Pandemic didn't help.
No, pandemic did not help with the cost of things or with the timing things. But hey.
And so another really great investment that we did was, instead of putting more residential lines in, we went with one massive commercial line. And which also leads us to the next question.
What was your most costly mistake?
So serious.
So following on from the last question, our best investment was this. This is our new single electric box, right? So we have 1 point of electric and have tons of electricity coming into it. But it was also our worst investment because we did this project just before the pandemic, and the electrician then retired after the pandemic. It wasn't finished yet. So it sat here for 2 years. And what we didn't know is that we were paying for delivery. So it cost us, over the course of the 18 months we had this on before we switched it over, was almost 7,000 euros we lost.
The other costly mistake was to start renovation, to start the work before we moved. Because then they did whatever they thought that because they know better. And we were not here to keep an eye on things and double check.
What is the most expensive project in the pipeline?
That is a good question. I think we have two big ones. I think we have, you see the inside of the chateau. We're under the main roof of the chateau, and we have to do all the insulation, which is a huge project, particularly around all these windows. And the second one is the heating and cooling system of the chateau. That's going to be massive because we're going to try and do a forced air system. And so we're going to have ducts and everything running through the chateau. Essential is heating and air conditioning.
Heating is a big ticket on Chateau. So, if we want to talk about like numbers, which is the whole thing of the episode, we had 3 ideas for the heating, and one was, the original was underfloor heating. We would love to put underfloor heating on the ground floor of the Chateau because we could, from an infrastructure point of view, but it was 150,000 euros just to do the ground floor of the Chateau. And then put little domain like all these other villas and castles around the corner. Then we move on to a simple heat pump system, and we can do the whole house for 100,000. And now we are waiting for the forced air. That's it. Just see what's the difference in price. But the numbers that we're managing are those numbers. So numbers are huge. They have in Chateau like.
And then you see we just have these raw spaces, and we see the tiles. And so now we have to insulate. So they put about 30 centimeters of insulation. They put the steel covers. Stuff with insulation, and then put the plasterboard on top, and then we have to paint or plaster afterwards. And to do the whole chateau, it's another 50,000 euros to be.
How much have you invested in renovation so far?
It's a very interesting question. And so keep in mind when we say this, we have done very little work on the chateau so far. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. So completely 4 houses. And we have spent just over 1 million euros so far. The chateau is another story.
There is absolutely no landscape, no swimming pool, Not all the roofs are done on the other houses. Not all the buildings are touched. We still have the pigeonnier with the pigsty, the laundry next to it, the old stables, the cow stables, the new stable, the whole chapel, the storage room, the hunting lodge. All those buildings still need to be interim. You could have your business plan and you can have your idea of how you're going to administrate. You can just run a thread through all the questions and say, okay, well, listen, it's this, and this, so I will need N amount of money. And then you will see bishop. Because timing is there as well. Time also affects the way your money is spent. Final question is up to Roman.
How much do you paid for the chateau?
For a long time, we didn't want to give that answer because we thought that it was going to take it away from our story that was far more important than a number.
And kind of private.
It is private, it's tacky. Talking about money is always gross. But
Here we are. Everyone keeps asking. So
there are two properties here. During the revolution, the property was divided into two. The chateau that we bought in 2017 and the farm that we put it back together in June 2019. For the chateau part of the property, we paid 460,000 euros.
and for the farm, we spent 220,000 euros. So altogether, 680.
680, that's the magic number people were asking. 680,000 euros for 16 hectares of forest, pastures, lakes, and Chateau.
Lots of outbuildings.
Lots of building. Days are 450 square meters in the Chateau and over 1,200 square meters of outbuildings and over 3 lifetime worries and headaches. I mean, that also counts.
And that's just you.
And that's just me. And not just me, imagine the Chateau. Oh, no, that. Family like people, domestic like. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being there with us every week, all the time. We love having you along. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next episode. There's a lot more to show. Hopefully there still be a cabinet in the next video and a family. If you have any more questions, please just shoot them down in comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends and family. My name is Oscar, and I will see you next time here in Saving Belebat. Ciao.